Okay. Good morning, afternoon, and or evening. My name is Derek, Professor Silly, and welcome to my journey through the history of heavy metal albums. What do we mean by heavy metal? Well, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out myself. Certainly, one can argue that heavy metal began with Black Sabbath. That said, everything I've listened to so far is definitely within the realms of proto-metal. We're listening to a lot of hard rock from the early 70s that are laying the foundations for what heavy metal will become. My approach is if an album has been listed somewhere online on a list, in a magazine, in a book as important to the history of heavy metal, then I consider it fair game. Thus, many of the albums that I've listened to so far have been listed by Rolling Stone or Kerrang or Pop Matters or Screen Rant, etc. And I'm going through and checking them out and seeing how they may fit into this history of heavy metal. Who am I and why does my opinion matter? It doesn't. I'm just a dude. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my world. I used to play in a heavy metal band when I was a teenager, playing in biker bars. I'm a bass player. And yeah, I'm playing with older musicians, mostly covers, playing a lot of Motley Crue and Rat and Metallica, etc. I didn't make any money doing heavy metal. I made all my money in music doing other kinds of music than metal. But I still have a love for the heavy metal genre. And there's a lot of albums on my list that I have never gotten around to listening to. Now, in the interest of keeping this as fair use, I will be talking over the music. I'm not going to be pausing and talking and then unpausing because I'm doing entire albums. If I was doing individual songs, it might make more sense to approach it that way. But doing an album, I will pause it between songs. I'm doing this as if I have a remote, but I really don't. I will pause between songs if I have stuff that I want to talk about in between, but I will be talking over the music. That's just to protect this channel and to make sure that these videos can go live for everybody to see. Right. I think that's about it. Oh, one more thing. If you have an album that you think I should listen to, that you think is important to the history of heavy metal, you let me know in the comments. If I haven't already passed the release date, I will consider doing a full-length video on it. If I have already passed the release date, or if it seems more like a minor album, I may just do my review as a short, but I will definitely check it out for sure. Right. Without further ado. So this week, 2 weeks in a row of Black Sabbath. I've been trying to make sure I have stuff in between, but frankly, I want to get to some actual classic heavy metal. And all that I've been hearing so far is proto-metal. I'm told that Black Sabbath is going to become more metal at some point, but I don't think it's going to be yet. So I want to wrap up this proto-metal era and get to some actual real metal. So, real metal. So Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. I've never heard this album. I don't think I know of any songs that are on this album. Is that true? Right, having pulled up the track list, none of these songs look familiar to me. So I don't know anything about this album. I haven't heard this album. This is a brand new listen for me. Much like the last two Black Sabbath albums were brand new listens for me. Right, so 1973, 8 tracks, 8 songs. The first song is Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. Let's check this shit out, yo. Right, Sabbath Bloody Sabbath is the first song. I just played the wrong... I will have cut all that out, but I was playing the wrong album entirely. I was like, this sounds like Budgie. It was Budgie. That's why. So, no. Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. Here we go. Okay. Oh, I've heard this. I've never heard this version of the song. I've probably seen it live or heard it like a live performance of it. It doesn't sound as low as detuned. Light and airy. Really nice melody. They just tell you that you're on your own. Fill your head all full of lies. You bastard! Track's only half done. There we go. It feels like they're taking a lot of the stuff that they did in other previous albums that felt disparate and separated and combining it all. Fuck yes. Okay. Everything I said about it not sounding detuned, forget that. Here it is. There's a yeah coming. Fade out. Right, so I was wondering at the end of the last album, my final thoughts after listening to Volume 4, whether they were going to get better at producing their own stuff. I'm assuming they produced this one too. I don't know that for sure. I don't like to do a lot of research before I listen to something because I don't want it to cloud my first experience of it. I'll do my research over the course of this week. That's something I forgot to mention at the beginning. I don't like to rate things until I've listened to it for like a full week. So, and I am traveling this week, so I will be downloading this so I can listen to it on the airplane on my flight. I will have listened to it on my flight by the time this comes out. So I'm assuming they produced it themselves, but I don't know that for sure. If so, it sounded a little tinny, but in terms of like the song sounding complete and having parts that are working together, like that seems way better. Well, better produced than anything I heard on the last album. So thumbs up to them if that's the case. Dug the drumming toward the end there. I like how low the band gets and how high Ozzy was getting. It was creating a nice spread that I haven't really heard from them up to this point. Right, so I don't recognize the next track, A National Acrobat. Interesting. Some overdubbed harmonies. Wow. Good job, guys. I mean, very simple harmony, but harmony. I mean, it's still Black Sabbath, but ooh, nice. I was gonna say it's still Black Sabbath, but it sounds a little more radio friendly. What an odd song. I mean, I say it sounds more radio friendly, but it's also 6 minutes and 16 seconds, so no, it's not radio friendly. Not back then. That sounds familiar. Okay. Some extra percussion back there. Okay. Wow. So the sounds like they're getting more experimental, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Grow or die, right? Evolve or fall behind. Considering that they're putting out an album every single year, that is impressive in its own right. I noticed that none of the tracks are shorter than 4 minutes and 9 seconds, which is actually the next track. There's no, it's 4:11. So nothing is really short. I'm hoping that means there's no repeats of like the FX thing from the last album. That said, Fluff, if there was going to be a song that was going to be shoved into an album, I feel like the song called Fluff might be that song. Here's hoping it's not. Looking at the millions of plays, this one is the least listened to. No, Who Are You? The other short one is only got 1.7 million views. This has 2.6, but then the first one had 35 and the next one had 21. So like, this is a lesser, looks like a deeper cut. Hopefully this isn't going to be like FX. Okay, so the Iomi acoustic number. He's been doing this on every album, having at least one track like this since Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. No, that's this one. Since Master of Reality. So third, fourth, and now fifth albums all have something like this. Nice. A little piano. Okay. This sounds more evolved. than the previous acoustic stuff. This is pleasant. I mean, nice change of pace from the song before, and I'm assuming the song after. Doesn't mean it won't be on, though. This would almost be not out of place in an occult bookstore. New Age bookstore. You can almost smell the incense and desperation. Okay. I almost want to go buy a deck of stanky tarot cards, which is not completely out of place in the album. So the next song is Sabbra Cadabra. I think there's a Zappa track that has a similar name, but I think that came out later in the 70s. Sabbra Cadabra, I think, or something like that. Not as one I'm not as familiar with that track as some of the other stuff from him. 12 million views. All right, or listens. Let's check this one out. Okay. There we go. Okay. Is this isn't a cover? This almost sounds like them playing somebody else's song. It's weird. Interesting. I mean, it's definitely Ozzy. And it's definitely Black Sabbath, but someone told me expect the unexpected as you go through the albums, but there's so much space between stuff. More piano. Okay. Okay. The piano's almost Old West. Like honky tonk. What a weird song. Okay. This is going to be an interesting album to listen to over the course of next week. At the gym and during walks and whatnot. What an odd thing. maybe it'll make more sense with repeated listens. It just felt like there was several ideas happening that didn't necessarily have anything to do with each other, and yet we're working together. Okay. Killing yourself to live. Okay.
Well, people look at people stare. Well, I don't think that I even care. You walk your life away, and what do they give? You're only killing yourself to live.
Title drop.
Killing yourself to live. Killing yourself to live. Just take a look around you, what do you see? Pain, suffering, and misery. It's not the way that the world was planned. It's a pity you don't understand. Killing yourself to live. Killing yourself to
Okay. Nice return to form of having the dual guitar solo.
I'm telling you, believe in me. Nobody else will tell you. Open your eyes and see the lies. Oh yeah. Smoke it. Get high. You think that I'm crazy, and baby, I know that.
Nice.
Before that you know it, I think that you'll go crazy too.
Cool choice to like follow the vocals and guitar together. Very atmospheric.
I don't know if I'm up or down, where the black is white or blue is brown. The colors in my life are all different somehow. Little boy blues and big girl now.
have thoughts, but I'm going to wait to the end of the song. Dig that riff. Here's my thought, and I reserve the right to change my mind on this by the end of the week. What made the first two albums, I think, so brilliant was how strong their vision was compared to everything else that was happening at the time. And then the next album, Master of Reality, I feel like they peaked in terms of like a couple of the songs in that album are still my favorites of the bunch I've heard. It almost feels like now, at this point, 73, that they're losing that vision a bit. And it still sounds really good, but it sounds more similar to all the other things that are happening in the music zeitgeist of the time. Hearing all the other albums that are happening around the same era, the hard rock and proto metal, this feels more similar to everything else, and not so distinctly them. Now Ozzy sounds like Ozzy. Ozzy can't not sound like Ozzy, and the riffage is really great. And this might be the shortcoming of my why I don't like to rate things based on a single listen, because as I'm listening to it this first time, I'm not noticing too much what's happening in the rhythm section. It's the melodic stuff, the vocals and the guitar that's really popping forward. So I'm really curious whether I'm going to feel differently about Bill Ward and Geezer Butler as I listen to this album over the next week. Right, moving on. Who Are You? Who, ooh. This is way before that Who song, right? Speaking of the Who. Okay.
Yes, I know the secret that's
Whoa.
within your mind. You think all the people who worship you are blind. You're just like Big Brother, giving us your trust. And when you have played enough, you just
I mean, it's so clearly a Black Sabbath riff, but it's being played on keyboards, synth. With what, an envelope filter on it? To get that swelling.
thought that it would be easy from the very start. Now I've found you out. I don't think you're so smart. I only have one more question before my time is through. Please, I beg you, tell me.
Again, that sounds like vocal harmonies from Ozzy. Yeah. It's not just octaves. It sounds very Pink Floyd. very, very interesting. So like I said, that's clearly a Black Sabbath style riff, but played entirely on synth, which is especially interesting in that, like, I can imagine like that being like a part of the song and whatnot, but no, they just stuck with it for the entire thing, which it's a choice. I could definitely have seen that being like just the intro and the outro, or just being like an interlude in the middle and have guitars everywhere else, but nope. All right. Two more. Looking for Today.
It's complete, but obsolete. All tomorrows become yesterday. In demand for second hand, it's been heard before you even play. Up to date, but came too late. Better get yourself another day. Just alright, but overnight, you're the one who has to take the blame. Everyone just gets on top of you. The pain begins to eat your pride.
Flute? Yeah. I mean, plays flute, right?
You can't believe in anything you knew. When was the last time that you cried? Yeah. Don't delay, you're in today, but tomorrow is another dream. Sunday star is Monday star, out of date before you even see. At the top, so quick to flop, you're so human rotting in decay. Like butterfly, so quick to die, but you're only looking for today. Everyone just gets on top of you. The pain begins to eat your pride.
Again,
You can't believe in
it
it.
feels like they're taking stuff from like the last album that seems so different
Was the last
and marrying them into single tracks.
time? Yeah.
I just don't know if that makes them better.
Looking for today. Looking for today. Looking for today. Looking for today. Looking for Listen, lemon trip, so soon to slip. Easy come, but how everything goes. 10 foot tall, but
Get them
wide
claps in.
open. Hard to open, yet so easy to close. Yeah, front-page news, but so abused. You just wanna hide yourself away. Overpaid, but soon you pay because you're only looking for today. Yeah. Looking for today. Looking for today. Looking for today. Looking for today.
Thank goodness for that guitar solo. That was getting awfully repetitive. Interesting drums there, too. Weird. All right, there's only one track left. Spiral Architect. Cool title. But let's get some lunch. Okay. Spiral Architect. It's pretty. I was going to say, is there going to be... It'd be weird to end this album with just an acoustic track.
Sorcerers of madness, selling me their time. Child of God, sitting in the sun, giving peace of mind. Fictional
Again, Ozzy's
on a
melodic approach has evolved a lot.
sadness kills the Superman, even fathers cry. Of all the things I value most of all, I look inside myself and see my world and know that it is good. To know that I should.
This album's very ambitious, isn't it?
Superstitious century, didn't time go slow? Separating sanity, watching children grow. Synchronated undertakers, spiral skies. Silver ships on cosmic oceans in disguise. Of all the things I value most in life,
I like this.
I see my memories and feel their warmth and know that they are good. You know that I should.
Those little disco-y strings. But 73, so it's not disco.
Watching eyes of celluloid tell you how to live. Metaphoric, motor replay, give. Laughter kissing, love is showing me the way. Viral city, architects
Applause. Weird way to end it. Okay. Well, that is Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. Not at all what I was expecting based on the name of the album. Felt the least heavy of all the Black Sabbath albums so far. There were moments that were heavy, but overall, least heavy album so far. Not sure how I feel about that. We'll see. Like I said, I don't rate things until I've listened to it for a full week, and listen to a bunch of stuff around the same era as well. Let me take a look real quick at what else was coming out around this time. So this is December of 73. Montrose, which I did as a short, came out just a couple months earlier. Budgie's third album, which I'm still in the process of listening to, came out earlier that year. We're about 3 albums into Blue Oyster Cult at this point. Secret Treaties is set to come out just a few months after this. And then Budgie In for the Kill, which I've heard is their best. So yeah, 74 is looking pretty sparse right now for albums. It looks like the next album on my list that is like multiple sources say is important is the next Black Sabbath album, Sabotage. And then multiple sources start going off on stuff coming out in 76, including Rainbow. Rainbow looks to be the next major album that multiple sources have all said are important. The first arguably metal Judas Priest album is also coming out in 76. So we're getting close to that. There's also a bunch of albums that were suggested on multiple lists that I can't imagine will be metal, including Kiss and Aerosmith. I've never considered Aerosmith to be metal. But apparently 1976's Rocks is the most metal of their stuff. 76 also has Rush 2112. So we're getting into some heavy hitters. I just don't know how many of these. I'm guessing Judas Priest and Rainbow will be the most metal of those. But I haven't heard either of those albums, so I don't know that for sure. Regardless, I'm going to listen to this for the next week. And I'll let you know what I think here in just 1 second. All right. Thank you so much for your patience. I wanted to take an extra week. 1, to get over my cold, and 2, to really give this album a really thorough listen to make sure I was really understanding what I was hearing. That opening track, Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, probably the most metal thing I've heard so far in this journey. That drop riff that comes in, oh, it's so good. I love all the parts, but that really is what drives it up to them recapturing what they did on their first 3 albums that was really missing from Volume 4. The rest of the album, not necessarily particularly metal. There's little elements of metal here and there, but overall the songs don't feel metal like that first one does. There's really no tracks on here I'm looking at the score breakdowns. There's nothing on here I dislike. I don't love everything to the same level, but what I really find impressive about Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, the thing that I didn't like about Volume 4 was it felt like there was all these disparate, disconnected ideas that they were exploring, and they hadn't really given the time to really explore those ideas enough to get to the heart of it. Here on Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, they're taking all those ideas and they're merging them into single songs in a way that works really well. All those other little ideas are working great here. I think the song that I gave the lowest rating to, it's a tie between a few of them. Fluff, I like it better than every other single acoustic-y sort of thing that Tony has done on previous albums. I'm getting feeling from Fluff. I don't love it, but it's better than what I've heard on the earlier albums. I appreciate it, and I actually quite like it. Who Are You? I feel like the keyboard sound is cool. I would have liked the song more if they would have had guitars coming in here and there just to break it up. I think it could have been a heavier song if they would have just included, not necessarily throughout the entire thing. It could open with keyboards and then have guitars come in and then have guitars drop back out and back to just keyboards and then have the guitars come back. Like, it could have had more evolution to it, and I would have liked it better if they would have done that. My wife is sick too. I'm not going to try to edit that out. I gave her my cold because I love her. She isn't holding it against me. Looking for Today, it's like a 3-way tie for my least favorite. All 3.5. I really like all 3 of those tracks, just not as much as the other stuff on the album. It didn't quite rise to that same level as like Sabbra Cadabra. Really cool. National Acrobat, really cool. Spiral Architect, really cool. And then, of course, again, Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. So, all of that to say that for me, this is them getting back to it. Clearly, my thoughts on the last one of them like not producing it themselves and partaking of the nose candy, that combination really did them in. Here, they figured out how to produce themselves. And that skill is coming through. Plus, apparently, they went back to England to get away from all of that, nose candy, and back into a haunted mansion. Apparently, that probably helped as well. So, probably the most cohesive album I've heard from them, as far as them being a 4-piece. And yeah, solid A tier. I like it as much as an album as Master of Reality. Great return to form. Now, I've been told by a friend of mine to brace myself for disappointment on the next one, on Sabotage. So I'm bracing myself for that. That said, I know it says down there, Blue Oyster Cult. I'll probably do that as a short. I'm not looking to necessarily do full-length reactions on Blue Oyster Cult. They're their own thing, and I do like Blue Oyster Cult. I've listened to a few other albums of theirs in the meantime, going through chronologically just to see how they're evolving with everybody else. But I want to have something in between Sabbath Bloody Sabbath and Sabotage. So next week's pick might be controversial, and you'll see what it's going to be in my outro. So until then, I hope you're having a great spring, or whatever time of the year it is when you're watching this. Happy you have a great rest of wherever you are in your day, whether it be a good rest of your day or rest of your evening or rest of your whatever. And I will see you next time. Ta-ta.